Okay, so hey there guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for yesterday and today. I didn't really have time to film my look yesterday, so I'll just tell you guys what I was wearing yesterday. So for my eye primer, I just used the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used my Dewdrop lip oil, and then I just set my eyes and everything with my Dior powder. And then for my eyes, I wanted to use the Nomad Verona palette because I wanted to do this red look for like quite a while, so I finally was able to do it. So I mostly used the pink and red side of the palette. And the reds in here are so insanely pigmented. So I went in with light first in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Love, and then I used Quill on the outer corner, and then I finally was able to dip back into Comedy again for my shimmer, and it looked so beautiful. And then I just used Blanc Type on the brow bone, and then for my inner corners, I just took the gold shade from this side. This was the only shade that I used from this side of the palette, and I used the shade Moors, and it turned out so beautiful. So I wanted to do a red look because I was going to see Across the Spider-Verse yesterday, which is the new animated Spider-Man movie. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. And then for my face, I just primed with my Do It spray and my Say primer. And then for my foundation, I just used the Makeup by Mario foundation again in the shade 1C. I don't have them in front of me right now, but I've showed you guys those like a million times. And then I used the LYS concealer in the shade LG3. And then I just set my under eyes with my Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I just set my face with the Dior powder again. And then for my bronzer, I used the House Labs bronzer in the shade Light Level 1. And then for my blush, I finally got to use the Alice in Wonderland Queen of Hearts blush again. I knew I wanted to use this blush when I was finally able to do that red look, because I've been planning to do that red look for like a couple of weeks, but I was like, hey, it's perfect to go see Spider-Man in. So I was kind of happy that I didn't do it yet because it worked out to see that movie. And this is the shade Silence. This is such a stunning pigmented blush. Like I said, the blushes from this collection are definitely the star of the show. They are so good. And then for the highlighter, I went into my Blend Bunny Noctilucent palette. I almost used it today too, but I just used it yesterday. I used a different highlighter today. So I went into this bad boy. I love this highlighting palette. It's so beautiful. And I just went in with the shade Dreamlike, which I've only used this one, I think, once or twice. And when you use this, you think it's going to be like super dark like this, but when you put it on your face, it shears out to be like a more orangey red, and it's so beautiful. So it looked absolutely perfect with that look. I almost went in with Enlightened today because that's the one I use all the time. I almost want to bring this one to California with me, but I don't think this is really like a California look. You know, like I'm only going to bring like a couple of highlighters with me, but I still love this palette and I reach for it all the time. And then I just set my face with my Milk Makeup Spray as per usual. Did I just scratch my finger again? No, I didn't. And then I just used my e.l.f. Wow Brow in my brows. And then for my lip liner and lipstick, I used the shade BFF from ColourPop. And then I used the Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Sunny Side from ColourPop as well as my lipstick. I'm just making sure my friend is in here yet. And then for today's look, I did this green look that I've been dying to do. Again, it's a look that I've been wanting to do for a while. So I finally was able to do it, and I just wore like this green floral shirt. I knew I wanted to wear this shirt when I finally did this eye look. So I just used my ColourPop Party Proof Primer because I didn't really want to use anything too heavy today because, like, my skin is still not doing the greatest. It looks better than it did yesterday. Like, yesterday I was peeling all around my mouth, but, like, my face feels so dry right now, so I didn't want to go in with anything too heavy on the eye primer. And then I just used my Dewdrop lip oil, and then I just set my eyes with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my eye look, I finally got to dip into the greens in the Simply Posh palette, and I only used these 3 shades in the crease. So I started off with citrus in the crease, and then I just used lime in the defining area, and I also used it on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I finally got to use the shade Sour, and it's so stunning. Such a simple green look, but so impactful. It looks so pretty. And then I just popped on Tangy on the inner corners, and that's all I did for the eyes because I don't want to put on too much eyeshadow right now because, again, my eyes aren't doing the greatest either. So I didn't want to go too heavy on the eyeshadow, but it still turned out so pretty. And then, of course, I just put Blanc Type on my brow bone again. And then for my eyeliner, I used the shade, where is it? I don't even, oh, it's right here in front of me. I used the shade Aglow from the ColourPop Cream Gel Liners. And I just put that on my waterline. I'm also trying not to put anything on my lower lash line right now because it's just going to end up like dry and crepey later. So I've just been doing eyeliner underneath. And then for my, I just used my Essence Lash Primer, of course. And then I used my Gwen Stefani Can't Stop Staring mascara. Yesterday, I used my Wet n Wild Big Papa mascara. I forgot to say that. And then for my face, and I just used my Lash Discovery both times. Obviously, I always use this. And then for my face today, I just used the Do It spray and then the Say primer, because the Say primer is really the only one that works for my face right now because it's not scented and it's also not heavy. So I used my Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous foundation today in the shade 110C. This one's a really nice lightweight foundation. It gave me the coverage that I needed without being too heavy on the skin. And then I used my Milani Conceal and Perfect concealer in the shade 110 Nude Ivory because this one's a good concealer that's like full coverage but really lightweight. And then I just set my face again with the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then I set my face with the Pretty Fresh powder. And then I just went in with the same bronzer as yesterday. I just really have been enjoying this one, so I just used the House Labs one again in the shade Light Level 1. And then for my blush, I also wanted to go in with a House Labs blush again. I don't know, I just love these House Labs blushes, so I just used the shade Pomelo Peach, and it's just such a pretty blush. And then for my highlighter, I went in with the Give Me Glow highlighter in the shade Halo. I think I wore this like 2 weeks ago, but this is just such a stunning highlight. And again, if I go in with like more of like these intense highlighters, it's just easier to go over like my problematic skin right now, so it shows up really intensely without me worrying about whether or not it's going to show up. And then I just set my face again with the Milk Makeup Spray. And then set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips today, I used this shade Mini Man. Minute Man from ColourPop. And then I went in with the Give Me Glow liquid lipstick in the shade All That's Apricot. And I just love this. I love this liquid lipstick formula. It's like one of the best. It's like does not feel drying whatsoever, but it's so pigmented. And it just looks so smooth on the lips. So I love that. So I'm just popping that in my purse. And yeah, that's it. Bye. This might be the last look I do until I come back from California. So this might be the last Everyday Makeup Lookbook unless I film my look tomorrow. But I'm not sure if I'm going to wear makeup tomorrow or Tuesday because I really can't have my skin feeling this dry by the time of my sister's wedding. So I'm going to try and give my skin a breather Monday and Tuesday. I did give it a breather this past Friday. So I didn't even film a look on Friday because I wasn't wearing any makeup. So yeah, I'll let you know whether or not this is the last look. But if it is, bye. And I'll see you when I get back from California. Okay, so hey there guys. So I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. This is my first look back from California. I did actually do my makeup yesterday because I saw my boyfriend yesterday, like literally the day after I got back, because we got back on Monday and I saw him yesterday. But today I just like visited the mall and I wanted to go check out the new Natasha Denona palette, but for some reason New York Sephora's are not going to be carrying a lot of Natasha Denona anymore, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm just probably going to end up ordering it. So anyway, I'm going to tell you guys about my makeup look today. Yesterday I just wore the Ace Beauté palette and I just wore the same look that I wore in the first impressions video because I didn't bring that with me on my trip. I just brought ColourPop palettes with me. So today I used the Cosmic Brushes Muse palette because I wanted to use a few like non-ColourPop palettes when I came back because that's all I used on my trip. So I just used my ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I just used my Dewdrop Lip Oil, and then I just set my eyes with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder. I already hit pan again on the second one that I have because this is the only powder I brought with me to California, and I wore it every day. And I've worn it today and yesterday. This is literally my favorite powder ever. But I can't believe I already hit pan again on the second one that I have. So I feel like I'm going to be repurchasing that powder for a long time. And then I used the Muse palette. And I wanted to do like a very neutral look today with it. So I just used, I think the last time I actually did this look was when I was in school, like in class, like I think back in like March or April. So it's been like quite a while. But I just wanted to use this again when I came back. So I used the shade Haze first, then I darkened up the crease more with Rosewood, and then I used Fig on the outer corners, and then I used the shade Ambient, all over the lid, and it's such a stunning, like, glittery kind of sparkly bluish shade. It's so gorgeous. And then for the inner corners, I just used the shade Luster and a tiny bit of Antique just to like decrease the pink a little bit, and it looked so pretty. It kind of transferred a little bit underneath my eyes today though, but I just like literally could care less because I'm going to take off my makeup soon anyway. And I filmed this whole look too because I wanted to do a chit chat get ready with me talking about my trip. And then for my, and I just used Blanc Type on the brow bone, and then I just used the LA Girl liner in the shade Brown on my waterline, and then I just used the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara on the top and bottom lashes, and then my Essence Lash Primer, of course. And then for my face, I literally, all I've been doing, because I think the day before I left, my face was not doing great. So I didn't even film like a makeup look, everyday makeup look since like I think like the past like Sunday or Monday before I went away. On Tuesday I didn't wear any makeup because I had to go to the urgent care to get my face assessed, and because my face was literally like bright red the day before. So now I've been on antibiotics. They gave me a steroid shot, everything. I've stopped all my skincare except for, she told me to get a specific cleanser, the Aveeno Calming Foaming Cleanser, and oh my god, it's amazing. And then she just said all I should do is use Aquaphor, and that's it. Because she said it was like some type of skincare interaction from like all the products I've been using. So I have a dermatologist appointment next week, so they'll be able to like assess my skin and tell me like what exactly was the problem. But like she said I definitely had an allergic reaction to like some kind of skincare that just like interacted that like made my skin freak out. So, but all I've been using is the Say primer for the past like week or two because it's unscented. Like all my other primers either have some kind of scent in it, so I've been trying to stay away. I've also been trying to stay away from scented foundations that I have. I've just been using unscented foundations. Like the Valentino is scented, so I really can't use that right now. And like I've just been using everything that is not scented. So then the e.l.f. primer is a little bit thicker, and the other e.l.f. one is watermelon scented. So this is the only one I've been using, and this one has been amazing for my skin. It's just so gentle, and it just makes my skin, like, since I can't even use a moisturizer right now, it does add some hydration to my skin. So this has been absolutely perfect. I'm so glad I bought that. That's the only primer I used in California. I did bring the e.l.f. primer with me, but I didn't even use it because I was like too hesitant to use it. And then for my face, I just used the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter because I wanted something like really nice and light today. I love this product. It makes my skin look beautiful. It still looks so good right now. And then I used the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I haven't used this in a hot minute. And this one's in the shade Fair Warm. And then I just set my face again I've just been using the House Labs powder the past couple of days. And then I just used the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder, of course, to set my face. And then for my bronzer, I used my Milani Dolce bronzer. I love this bronzer, so that's what I used today. And then for my blush, I used just Max Margin from my Z palette because I just didn't feel like getting up and getting anything else. But whenever I don't know what blush to use, I just use one of my MAC blushes, and it's always a good choice. So, and then for my highlight, I went in with an older one, but I haven't used this in so long, so I used my Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighting Duo in the shades Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. This was like my first highlighter from Fenty Beauty, and it's just such a pretty like icy whitish kind of highlight, but it's just so beautiful on the skin, so I love that. And then I just set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray. I've only been using this because this is the only like face spray that I have that's unscented, and it's been amazing. It hasn't like made me break out or anything like that, because my Anastasia spray and the Do It spray from ColourPop both are scented, so this one's completely unscented, so this one's been perfect. And then for my lips, I just set my brows, of course, with the Brow Boss gel, and then for my lips, I just went in with the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade. This shade is completely worn off. I believe it's called Indulge Me, but it's just like the lightest nude that they have in the line. But I really can't remember the name because it's not on the friggin' tube anymore. Originally, I was wearing the Star Wars lippy from the ColourPop Star Wars collection, but it was a little bit too peachy, so I just threw this on instead. So yeah, that's it. I just went and stopped by the mall today to visit my coworkers, tell them about my trip, and then I just went to Sephora. And then I just stopped by Walgreens and got some Funyuns because I needed a day to relax. And then I just watched Entourage for an hour. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys tomorrow for another look. Okay, so hey there, guys. I wanted to tell you about another makeup look for today. So I just wanted to keep everything very light, but like kind of pastel. So I just primed my face. I just used the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, my Dewdrop Lip Oil, my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder to set my eyes. That's pretty much what I've been using for like the whole week. And then today I wanted to go in with the last shimmer that I have not used in the ColourPop Alice in Wonderland palette. This is the Lost in Wonderland palette. And I just wanted to use a few of like the pastel shades today. And I know that I knock this palette a lot, but when I actually use it, it actually is a pretty easy palette to use. I just wish that there was more like matte options in this palette, but when I actually use it, it's actually really pretty. So I took the shade Talking Flowers in my crease, and then I just used the shade That Way just to deepen it up a little bit. And then the only shimmer that I haven't used yet on the lid was Very Merry on Birthday. So now I'm finally finished testing out all the shimmers. And like I said, I think the star of the show of this palette are the shimmers. The shimmers are really pretty in this palette. Very smooth and just so easy to apply, and they really don't transfer at all. So I'm actually like a lot more impressed with this palette than I thought. I think the only dud shade is this color because it doesn't even show up on me. But all the other mattes are very easy to work with. And then for the lower lash line, I used Mad Tea Party to do that tiny bit of pop of green, and it looks so pretty. And then for the inner corners, I use the shade I'm Late, which is such a stunning like shimmery glitter, and it's so gorgeous. It's such a beautiful multi-glitter. So that's everything that I used from the palette, and again, I thought it turned out really, really pretty. So this palette keeps on like surprising me, so I don't know. I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought, so. And then I just used Blanc Type on my brow bone. And then for my liner, I used Amethyst Hour on my waterline because I wanted a little bit of that pop of pink on my waterline. It looks so pretty. And then I used the Essence Lash Primer and then my Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water mascara. Say that 3 times fast. And then I just used my Lash Discovery on my bottom lashes as per usual. And then for my face primer, I've just been using the Say primer. I don't even have to show it again because that's the only primer I've been using because it's like the only primer my skin has been able to tolerate these past few days
or past couple of weeks. And then for my tinted moisturizer, I wanted to use the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil in the shade Pale Light. This one is a little bit heavier than like my other products that I've been using. Even some of my foundations, like the Makeup by Mario, doesn't make my skin look this dry. But also I've been kind of like battling like sinus problems right now, so like my skin is a little bit drier than it usually is. And also I've been crying the past like 2 days, so like under my eyes it's like a little bit dry right now. So my family has just been such drama since I came back. And then I used the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. Y'all know how much I love this, in the shade 01 Fair. And then I just set my under eyes with the House Labs powder. I think I need to use a different one though, because this one can make my concealer crease quite a lot. And then I just used the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder again to set the rest of my face. And then for my bronzer, I used the Ilia Drawn In Night Light Bronzing Powder in the shade Drawn In. And then, that's a mouthful. For my blush, I just wanted to go in with the coinciding Alice in Wonderland blush. I really love this blush. I think this is like the 4th time that I've used this, in the shade, Oh Dear. This is Alice's color, and it's such a beautiful, like, pink. It's more of like a warm tone pink, but it's so pretty. And then for my highlight, I just went in with an oldie but a goodie. So I went in with the Benefit Cheek Leaders Mini Bronze Quad, and I just took the shade Cookie, which is a classic. And it just looked gorgeous, so I just wanted to use that. Just wanted to use something either icy pink, but I couldn't find anything that I really wanted to use, so I was like, I'll just use that, because I've been wanting to use it for a while now anyway. Then I just set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray, because again, Jesus. This is the only one that I've been able to tolerate for my skin, and I fucking love it. And then I just used my Brow Blush Gel from ColourPop to set my brows. And then for my lips, I just went in with the Smashbox lipstick in the shade, what is this called? Hideout. And it's a really pretty, like, icy pink. So yeah, that's everything. So see you guys tomorrow for another look. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I wanted to tell you guys about another makeup look today. So I just primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, the Dewdrop lip oil. I just threw on my lips as usual. And then I went in with my Urban Decay powder today to set my eyes, because I'm actually going out. So I'm seeing one of my best friends. I haven't seen him in like almost 2 weeks, so we're going to catch up and talk about my trip and everything. So we're going to the movies, and we're just going to get something to eat. So I went in with the Citrus Punch palette from Simply Posh today, because I haven't used this since before I went away. So I wanted to go into it again, and I just used some of the orange shades today, because I love this palette. It's just so easy to use, and it always looks just beautiful. So I went in with Squeeze first, then I darkened up the crease with Clementine, then I used orange on the outer corner, and then I used Tasty all over the lid, and then I just went in with Blanc Type on the brow bone. I'm just making sure he's not here yet. And then for the inner corners, I just used Tangerine, and that's all I did today. I'm trying to do like light makeup still, like I haven't really done anything on the lower lash line in a while, and also I didn't want to do something too colorful today. But also, like I said, I wanted to go in with this palette, because I was wearing this like orange tank top and orange kind of jacket. This all from Anthropologie. It's like a few years old, so I doubt they have any of these available anymore. And then for mascara and everything, I went in with the Gwen Stefani Can't Stop Staring mascara. I wore this, I think, like twice on my trip. And then for the liner, I just went in with Peach Fuzz from ColourPop, one of the cream gel liners, and then I just used the Essence Lash Primer and the Lash Discovery as per usual on the lower lash line. And then for my face, of course, I went in with the Say Primer again. This is the only primer I've been using, because it's the only one that like is literally unscented and is like sensitive enough for my skin. But I don't think I've ever went in with it with this foundation, and it made this foundation look so freaking good. And this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. So I decided to go in with this one today in the shade 10NN. Like I said, I'm just going in with unscented foundations in my collection, because I don't want to aggravate my skin anymore. And it just looks so freaking good today. I love this foundation. I mean, it always makes my skin look flawless. So such an underrated foundation, because I wanted to also use the Urban Decay Naked Quickie Concealer today, and I love this concealer. and I have it in the same shade 10NN. And then I just set my under eyes and everything with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then for my powder, like I said, I went in with the Urban Decay Stay Naked powder. So I love this powder too. I use this a lot. Obviously, I have pan on it, and it's also in the shade 10NN. So they're all in the same shade. And then for my bronzer, I haven't used the Pat McGrath bronzer since before I went away because I only brought the House Labs and the Gucci bronzer with me because I didn't want to bring 3 bronzers with me. Like, that's excessive. And the majority of the time I used the House Labs one. That one was perfect, but I wanted to go in with the Pat McGrath today in the shade Naked Desire. So, love that bronzer. And then for my blush and highlights, so for the blush, I went in with the ColourPop Hello Kitty Pressed Powder blush in the shade Aloha Honey, and it's kind of like a super vibrant corally orange shade, and it's just so pretty. It's such a pretty shade for summertime, and I've been wanting to use it all spring or at some point in the summertime. I mean, summer hits next week because we're still in springtime, but I think this is the last week of spring. Or next week is the last week of spring. I think it's like June 21st. And then for my highlight, I used the Fenty Beauty highlighting Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighting Duo in the shade Mean Money and Hustla Baby. And this one's kind of like a peachy color, and I love it. And I'm so glad I went in with that one because it looks perfect with this. And then I just keep on checking. Set my face with my Milk Makeup Spray. And then I just set my brows with my e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then I just use the Minute Man ColourPop liner. Like, what else do I use? It's like my absolute favorite. And then for my lips, I already put it in my bag, so I didn't forget it. I used the Lime Crime Velveteen in the shade Desire. This one is just the perfect shade for this. It goes so amazingly with the crease shade and the blush and the jacket. So I haven't used this in quite a while, and this is like my favorite, like, toned down orange. It's like still vibrant, but it's not like insanely orange, and it just always looks so pretty. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. And I am using a new palette today. So for my eyes, I just prime my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer. And I just, of course, put on my Dewdrop lip oil. And then I use my Dior Backstage powder. Actually, I almost said my Urban Decay one. In the shade Zero Neutral. Trying to work on using this guy up. And then I got a brand new palette in the mail this morning, so I had to try it today, and I got the brand new Natasha Denona Yucca palette. I knew I was going to get this palette, so yeah, I kind of dipped into some of my newer palettes the past few days, but as soon as this came in the mail, I was like, I have to use it. So this is what I have on my eyes today. I have a full first impressions coming. It's probably going to be up tomorrow. You'll see this video like a couple days after that. So I went in with some of the peachy tones today because I really wanted to use one of the lid shades. I'll tell you guys which one I wanted to use first. So I went in with Ixia first in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Valley. And then I used Flax on the outer corners. And then for my lid, I went in with the shade Plantasia. Everybody's been raving about this color. It really reminds me of one of the shades in the Child palette from ColourPop, so I really need to swatch both of them together because these shadows honestly perform kind of similar to Super Shock shadows from ColourPop. They're even more sparkly and pigmented. So this shade is stunning. And the mattes in here are so buttery smooth and easy to use. And then I just put Blanc Type on my brow bone. And then for my lower lash line, I just use the shade Valley again. And then for my inner corners, I use the shade Kamarabi. And oh my god, it's such a stunning inner corner highlight. And then I also use this for my blush and highlight as well, but we'll go into that in a minute. And then for my face, I just used my Stay Primer as per usual. I don't have to show you guys that a million times. And then for my foundation, I went in with the House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation in the shade 050 Fair Cool. I love this foundation. It makes my skin look beautiful. I hadn't been able to use it for a little while, so I love it. It's amazing. And then for my concealer, I went in with one of my all-time favorites right now, which is the LYS Triple Fix Concealer in the shade LG3. And then I just set my under eyes with a Pat McGrath powder. And then I just set my face again with the Dior powder. And then for my liner, I went in with the Outer Space ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. Because I wanted a little bit of like a pop of navy blue. And it just looked really, really pretty because I was wearing this striped hoodie from Lucky. And then I just went in with my Essence Lash Primer. And then I finally went in again with my Fenty Beauty Hella Thick Mascara. Because I didn't bring this on vacation with me. And I haven't worn it in like a few days, so I wanted to wear it today, and I really like this mascara. I don't know why it's getting so much hate. I think that it holds my curl for quite a while, and it still looks good, so, and then I just used my Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. I sound worse than I actually feel. I don't feel that bad. It's just because, like, I haven't been able to blow my nose in a while because I was wearing makeup. And then for my bronzer, I went in with the Christian Dior bronzer in the shade Tan Bronze. I just haven't used it in a little while, so I wanted to use that today. And then I went back in with the palette for my blush and highlight because I was kind of curious to see how they would perform. And I thought that this shade Ixia would make such a beautiful blush, so I used that as my blush today. And it lasted so long, like I haven't reapplied it or anything, and it looks so good. And then for my highlight, I went in with the same shade as the inner corner shade Kamarabi. And look at how stunning that is. Like, these need to be highlighters or blushes or something. They're so stunning. So I'm definitely using this palette tomorrow as well, and probably the next day, because I also ordered the new Nomad palette as well. So I'm just going to be using like those two palettes for the next few days. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray, and then I just set my brows with my e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, this is not the lip color that I was wearing, but I think I left my lipstick at work in the bathroom. So I'll show you guys the color. It's more of like a deeper color. So that's the color. This one is ColourPop's Lippy Stick in the shade Brat Pack. So that's what I was wearing. I just threw on my e.l.f. sheer stick for this. So yeah. That's it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another look. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I don't know why my friggin' necklace is driving me nuts right now. It's, like, not sitting properly. Okay, that's better. So I did work today, so I wore, like, this off-the-shoulder peasant top, and I wanted to wear, like, the mustardy tones in the Natasha Denona palette today, so I just primed my eyes with my Anastasia eye primer. And then my ColourPop Dewdrop lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Dior powder. Actually, with the Urban Decay powder, not the Dior. And then, of course, like I said, I went in with the Natasha Denona Yucca palette again today because I wanted to use more of the shades. So I went in with the shade Tipu first, and it was, like, such a gorgeous, like, mustardy yellow. And then I darkened up the crease more with Akia, and that was a really pretty, like, greenish, like, taupey color. It's so pretty, like grayish green. And then I just went in with the same shade to define, which was the flax shade on the outer corners. And then I really wanted to use Kamarabi today all over my lid, and it's just so beautiful. I love it. I'm obsessed with this palette so far. I think this might be my favorite Natasha Denona palette now. Like, I love it so much. And then I just went in with Blanc Type on my brow bone. And then I used the shade Citrine and smudged it on the lower lash line. And then I used the shade Ray on my inner corners, and it was such a beautiful color. So, love how this look turned out today. It's super pretty, and I'm just obsessed with this palette. It's beautiful, so I'm excited to use all the shades. And then for my face, I just prime always with the Say Primer. That's what I've been using for the past, like, 2 weeks. And honestly, it makes my skin look so good. Like, my foundation lasted, like, all day today. So I used my Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, the shade 110C. I love this foundation. It's one of my tried and trues. It's like my second bottle of it. And then for my concealer, I use the Urban Decay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer in the shade 10NN. Did I use the Quickie Concealer yesterday? Can't even remember, but I used this today. I think I used the Quickie Concealer on Friday. And then I just set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I just set my face again with the Urban Decay powder. And then for my liner, I used the Makeup by Mario liner in the shade Brown. This was like one of the only eyeliners I used on my trip. I'm just gonna chug a cough drop right now because I don't know why I'm coughing so much right now. And then for, I just used the Essence Lash Primer, and then I used the Rare Beauty Mascara. I just wanted to use that today, and I love this mascara. Then I used the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. Oh my god, why am I having a coughing attack right now? And then for my bronzer, I used the Gucci bronzer in the shade 01. I just wanted to use that today. I used this a couple times on my trip as well. Can't go anywhere without that. I love that bronzer. And then for my blush, I just used the NARS blush in the shade Illicit. It's just such a beautiful, like, peachy tone nudie blush. And I love this blush, so I just wanted to use it today. And then for my highlight, I used the Moira Sun Glow Face and Body Highlighter in the shade 001 Sweet Champagne. I absolutely love this highlighter. It's so gorgeous. And it went like perfectly with the lid shade, and it's just such a stunning highlight. It's really hard for me to not use this in the summertime because it's one of my all-time favorite highlighters. It's just so gorgeous. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went in with the same liner as yesterday, which was Ashton by ColourPop. And then for my lips, I used the Gucci lipstick in the shade Penny Beige. I just thought it would be beautiful today, and I love this lipstick. And then I topped it off with the So Glassy gloss from ColourPop in the shade Solana. I love this gloss too, so just beautiful. I really love how my look turned out today. So yeah, I will see you guys for another look tomorrow. I think that's the last look of this video. Bye! And happy Father's Day. Okay, so hey there guys, I want to tell you guys about the last look in this video. I actually was supposed to see my boyfriend today, but then I got called into work, because they ended up only having like 2 people ending up working today because one person called out. But today was time and a half because it was Juneteenth today, so I was like, sorry babe, but I need to go into work because I'm getting time and a half. Like, I never work the holidays that are time and a half, which is so annoying. So I was like, yeah, sorry, like, I'm gonna work. And he said it was fine. So yeah, let me tell you guys about my makeup look for today. That's just dry skin. It's not the lippy. So I just prime my eyes with my Anastasia eye primer as usual. And then I use my Dewdrop lip oil and then set my eyes with my Dior Backstage powder. And then I went in with the Natasha Denona Yucca palette yet again because I'm just going to be using this palette. I think I'm going to use it tomorrow as well. So I went in with some of the more orangey shades today because I wanted to use like these 2 shades. So I went with the shade, I'm tired, man, with the shade Fushi on the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Ixia, and then I used the same shade on the outer corners, Flax. And then for the lid, I went in with the shade Ray, and it's such a gorgeous, like, goldish color. I love it. And then I just went in with Blanc Type on the brow bone. And then for my lower lash line, I just went in with Ixia again. And then I went in with Plantasia on the inner corners this time. And it turned out super pretty. I've been obsessed with this palette. I think it's gorgeous. So I only have 2 more shades to use, just this one and this one. Maquia and Elysian. I'm going to use Maquia tomorrow, so then I'll only have Elysian to use. But then I also received the Nomad palette tomorrow, the new Safari one, so I'll probably do a look with that Wednesday and Thursday. And then for my liner, I used the ColourPop gel liner in the shade Prance. I wanted to do a little bit of a pop of that blue because it was in my shirt. And then for my lashes, I went in with just a sampler mascara today. I went in with my Essence Lash Primer, and then I just went in with the Clinique High Impact Mascara. I just wanted to use this because I haven't used it in a while. And like I said, I'm trying to rotate more mascaras lately. And then I just went in with my Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. Why is this not closed properly? Everything is such a freaking mess right now. It's driving me nuts. Jesus. My room is a pigsty. Like, I just need to clean. I just am never home, so, like, I never get to clean anything. And then I just went in with my Stay Primer, of course, and then for my foundation, I went in with the Makeup by Mario foundation in the shade 1C. I love this foundation. I wore this foundation so much on vacation, but I just wanted to wear it today because I love it. It looks so beautiful still. It still looks great on the skin right now. It's just one of my favorites. And then I went in with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I haven't used this one in a while, and it looked so good today. Like, I forget how good this concealer is. It really does not crease that much. And then I went in with, so the shade is Fair 02, and then I just set my under eyes with my Pat McGrath powder. And then I set my face with my Dior Backstage powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went in with the House Labs bronzer today in the shade Light Level 1. I love this bronzer, so I just wanted to use that. And then I went in with the coinciding House Labs blush. This is like one of my all-time favorite blushes now. So I use the shade Pomelo Peach, and it's just, it looks a lot more vibrant in the pan, but on the face, it's a lot more buildable, so it's not like super orange. It's just such a beautiful peach. It's still vibrant, but also like subtle at the same time. It's just such a beautiful blush. And then for my highlight, I decided to go in with this highlighter today. I haven't used this one in so long. So this is the Too Faced Rainbow Effect highlighter in the shade Rainbow Strobe. It just ends up being like a goldish highlighter, so it worked perfectly with this look. But it's still super intense, and I put it on like 5 hours ago, and it still looks really pretty. So really love this highlighter. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray. I sound a lot worse than I actually feel. Sorry. And then I went in with the ColourPop liner in the shade Minute Man. I always use this liner. And then for my lips, I went in with the Dior Addict lip tint in the shade, what shade is this? 421. This is really, really nice. It has a really nice cooling sensation. Honestly, the Rare Beauty lip oils kind of remind me of this formula. I don't know if I prefer this one or the Dior one, but this one's still really nice. But I just thought this would be a pretty lippy, and I've been wanting to wear it like for days, so I just decided to wear it today. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed these looks, and I will see you guys for another look video in a week or so. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle, and let me know which look was your favorite. Bye!